Hello, Admiral Thrawn here. It's been a long time, hasn't it? I am here to show you the latest project that I have been working on, which I call the Forge of Realms. What this is, overall, is a map generator that will generate any type of fantasy world map or even a sci-fi world map that you want, and that you can then use for a tabletop RPG campaign. So it looks like a game. It's not really a game. It's more of a tool for a dungeon master to use. But here, let's show you how it works. So what this allows you to do is it's fully moddable, and anybody can change anything in it. And you're able to create a world that looks kind of like this. It's a world that will have mountain ranges. It'll have rivers, oceans, bridges. It'll have kingdoms. For example, we have the kingdom of Inuk Kul, a dwarven kingdom that is based around the Inuk stronghold and extends all the way up through this valley here. We'll also have the barony of Windsor stationed here at this castle, and countless others. So it'll also create forests, it'll create swamps, rolling hills, vast oceans, and countless other stuff. So the whole purpose of this tool is I looked at a lot of map generators online, and they were all fun, don't get me wrong. I don't want to smack talk them or anything. But my biggest complaint about them was they all kind of looked the same, and they all didn't really feel like a real world. It felt more like a sort of randomized hodgepodge than an actual living, breathing fantasy world. And so what I've tried to do here is I've tried to create a world that actually does work and make sense and is internally consistent and makes sense in our world. The biggest part of that is stuff like, say, a mountain range. This world is divided by mountain ranges, and it has rivers, it has open grassy plains, and it basically allows for this sort of realistic societies and empires to build up themselves inside of it. And you may be saying, okay, this is kind of a cool world, but the key thing here is it is all dynamically generated. So I can just hit rebuild map, and just as a warning, this will take a little while. This is somewhat expensive software that I'm running. Expensive, I don't mean expensive as in cost-wise, I mean expensive as in on your CPU. So it'll tax that a bit while it's building out the world, but once it's built, then you never have to do that again. And you can make an entirely different world to play your game in. This world is much more mountainous, much fewer oceans. You can see there's the Holy Order of Furlight here. This heraldry is dynamically generated as well. You can put in your own icons and symbols, and it will then dynamically create heraldry for your faction and make it look realistic. Again, all this is put in dynamically. You'll have countless kingdoms. Here's some dwarves. You can have different races in the same world. They'll create their own kingdoms and they'll fight each other. You can have... where are some orcs? Here's some orcs. You can have orcs as well. You can have humans, as you've already seen. And yeah. And again, when I say this is all made dynamically, let me show you another type of world. This here is an ancient Egyptian style world, as you can see. And this world has its own heraldry, its own cultures, its own dynamic textures, models, everything, and it's all made through accessible text files. So you don't have to. There's no code involved in changing these over. You can make your own world just like this or like anything else. So I'm going to be putting this on IndieDB. This is something that I've worked on in my free time for a while now, and I'm going to continue to do so. And you can feel free to come over and check it out. I'm pretty happy with the state that it's in right now, but I plan to keep adding more stuff. There's a lot of different possibilities. I lay out the different things that I'm thinking about doing on the IndieDB page. I'll put a link in the description. You can go over there and submit your feedback, or do so in the comments section. Again, this is something that I worked on in my free time. It's pretty fun. I'll be posting this demo on IndieDB, so you should be able to have access to it. So yeah, go over there, check it out, give me some feedback. For those of you who haven't watched the rest of my channel, you'll know that I've also created some Medieval 2 Total War mods in the past, like Age of Petty Kings, and I put in a lot of work on Beginning of the End Times. And a lot of those skills that I picked up there went into this, just because I did a lot of mapping there by hand, and I realized how tedious that was, and I wanted to make something that would do it for me. So this is what basically came out of that. Anyways, these are the two best looking maps that I've created so far. I've made a couple other ones that look okay as well, and I look forward to seeing what all of you are able to create with the tool. Thank you very much, and Admiral Thrawn signing off.